Today's video, we're going to talk about why B2B Google ads take so damn long to work and why it's so hard to get them to work. Which are both obviously linked. It takes a long time, which makes people think they are hard to get to work. But even if you're advertising, doesn't mean it will ever work. If you do all the right things, it will work, but it still takes a long time to work. I'm going to explain why this is and why Google Ads for B2B businesses where you're selling to businesses is so difficult and what it actually takes at a minimum to get your ads to work. Because there is stuff at a minimum you got to do. If you're not starting out with very deep pockets to throw away 80 to 90% of your ad spend to get that 10% of what you're doing to come into your doors. Because this isn't 2010 anymore, the cost per click in most markets is high, where you're paying $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 a click. You can't just simply pay 10 times as much as you should for the part of your market that you're trying to go after to be able to get it. You got to weed out all the waste. And there's a ton of it if you don't know these key facts here. So I'll go through what those things are at a minimum you have to do if you ever even expect to make money. And then on top of that, why it takes like 6 months to 12 months to really get decent results with B2B campaigns, no matter how good your ads are set up, no matter how good your keywords are set up, no matter how good a landing page you have, and so forth. I put it all into frame of reference for you to understand whether or not you want to go forward with it in your market. Which, by the way, if you see your competitors advertising on the top of Google, you and the relevant competitors, direct competitors of yours, there's no reason why you shouldn't do it, because if they're doing it, it's probably making money, or at least not every single person there that you see is making money, but if there's 4 ads at the top of Google in your market, of which are direct competitors, 90+% chance that at least somebody's making good money from it. It's an indication of that, and you should be able to make that money for yourself. All you have to do is just have higher click-through rates than them and higher conversion rates than them on the clicks that you get, because Google's going to prefer to push them out of the way and put your ad in the forefront, because they want to give the best experience possible to their users so that they want to come back to Google and use Google in the future, and then not only that, click on ads in the future. So whether or not you basically make money just simply comes down to, can you outcompete your competition in your market so that you have the better ad that Google wants to promote, and then as a result of that, them charging you way less per click, you getting access to the high quality clicks versus the low quality clicks, which is a big factor into why it takes so long to even get it to work in the first place, which I'm going to go into, and make it and set yourself up so where it's inevitable that even though it takes some time to get it working, you'll get your money back when it does start working. So that I'll go through what all these key facts are that you need to know, why this takes so long, and so forth. So with that said, there are several reasons why ads for B2B or selling to businesses and markets like that don't work right away. A big one for newbies who aren't ad experts, we'll just say, is the reason why the ads will never work, let alone take a long time to work, is they don't understand that you have to target certain keywords and you have to do it in a very specific way. What I call buying terms. If you're targeting people who are looking for a outsourced CFO, you need to target outsourced CFO services, outsourced CFO companies, outsourced CFO firms, not outsourced CFO by itself. Which, that may be confusing to you, and so I'll explain what I mean by this. Whereas there is some meat, and there are people who search for outsourced CFO that are looking to hire a firm legitimately. The ratio of people that are searching that to find out what it is or another reason other than to hire an outsourced CFO firm to the people that are looking to hire an outsourced CFO firm is there's more people not looking to hire someone than there is someone to look to hire somebody. So by default, whatever you're paying per click, which a lot of times, like in a market like that, you're still paying $20 a click, $30 a click. You're paying $30 a click for, to go after people where only within that 20% of people are actually looking to hire somebody. So effectively, the math works out. It's more like $150 a click per person who's serious about hiring somebody that you're getting access to. Whereas if you target the person looking for outsourced CFO services, your $20 a click gets somebody who's 100% likely to be looking to hire somebody. Or respectively, you get the general point I'm trying to make here. So the average person, even if they try to target, and if you were doing outsourced CFO services, and they were just trying to target, like I'm telling you, that it takes the bare minimum make ads work in your market, outsourced CFO services, outsourced CFO companies, outsourced CFO firms, they also don't have the keywords in exact match. They put them in broad match. I don't think it's coincidence that Google made it so that the most broad advertising or targeting you get inside Google is where you put no quotes around the keyword or no brackets around the keyword, because people that are new to advertising on Google don't understand what match types are, and that there's a difference between no quotes and having quotes around the keyword and so forth. And Google's gotten so liberal with their keyword matching that if you just have, outsourced CFO firms in your campaign with no quotes or no brackets around it, it's going to show up for shit like, how many outsourced CFOs are there in America in 2019? Or some random ass crap like that. And obviously you have no hope whatsoever to make your ads work if that is what you're doing. So in addition to having it narrow down to the best of the best of the best keywords to make your ads work, you have to use your exact, where you put the brackets around the keyword to make the ads work as well. Otherwise, it's going to show up for random crap that you don't want anyway. And in some markets, it's phrase match, where you put the quotes around it, but for the most part, it's just exact match. Because exact match is like the phrase match used to be. So it's like, and I mentioned this in other videos, exact match is like the old phrase match, the way that it was. Phrase match is like the broad match always was, or modified broad matches. So, whereas exact match used to be, if you targeted the word outsourced CFO services, it would only show up for that. Now it will show up for outsourced CFO services, or should I say, best outsourced CFO services and the like, that are very close, but still completely different than the original keywords that you're targeting. So what you end up having to do on top of that, once you got the keywords you need, putting them all with the brackets around it, you have to, in addition to that, add negative keywords every day in your account, or at least every week, for months, to get it narrowed down to the exact phrases that you want. Outsourced CFO services, outsourced CFO firms, outsourced CFO companies. Then you can make money. And it does take months, because Google's, even with the brackets around the keywords, is still going to be so liberal in what your ad shows up for. That's one main reason why it takes so long for the ads to work. Okay, but that, what I just told you, is basically the requirement to get B2B campaigns to work on Google Ads today. In addition to that, though, even if you started out the campaign with all the negative keywords you needed to make money, like such as, you came to me, you bought one of the ad templates that we sell for that market and outsourced CFO services, which came with the campaigns and all the negative keywords that we built up over years in that market, because you wanted to tap into that market using the campaigns that we had that were effective in that market. You upload that same exact campaign template, landing page template, negative keyword list that we used, same exact keywords, everything exactly the same. It's still not going to work right away, and it's going to take like 6 months for it to work on top of all of that. Or 3 months if you're lucky. But for the most part, and the more you spend, the quicker it's going to work. So if you don't start out with a big budget, you only, like, let's say, have $3,000 a month or less to spend on your ads, it's going to take your 6 months because Google's system is driven off of an algorithm nowadays, and they've got to measure how to, what you're doing to give you good traffic on those keywords and to push your competitors out of the way and find out stuff that they're giving you that they'd like to sell you but doesn't work, and then weeding that out. So you set up everything, fundamentally so it can work, and then you play the waiting game for Google to give you the traffic that you need, not what they want to sell you. If you have a lot of competition in your space, it's going to take even longer. Why? Because there's going to be an additional element of Google already knows your competitors when and where your ad should show up in your market, and then when you show up and trying to get those same customers, Google's going to prefer to show your competitors instead. What they will do is slowly test your ad out in replacement of your competitors that are submitted at the top of Google for the keywords you want to show up for, and see if your ad has a higher click-through rate, higher conversion rate than your competition. But it'll only do it a tiny bit at a time. And over the course of that first 6 months, if you did your ad right, did your landing page right, they see you have better metrics on those two fronts, then they'll start kicking the worst of the people that are showing up at the top of Google now out of the way so you can be there. And with the algorithm set up to try to get people leads for the cheapest rate you can, okay? The ads that have been running before you, Google's algorithm knows how to get leads for those people. If you're going to get leads, they're going to have to push those ads out of the way and give you the lead, give you a lead, and then the people that are there now won't get the lead. And with most people in and out of Google, 90% of people are going to be in and out for 3 months or less, give up and say it doesn't work. They're not going to take you seriously as an advertiser for a very long time. And they don't want to piss off the current advertisers. So while your competition has most of the good traffic that Google knows is going to convert into a client, you're getting the leftovers that doesn't get results for them, and they dump it all on you, practically speaking. So it's not till a very long time where they prove that you're the new player that's going to come in that's going to beat everybody, and that you're going to stick around before you get the good quality traffic. See, people think Google's like you bid on a keyword and you either show up there or you don't. No, they look at all the people that are searching for your keyword and the thousands of individual traits that make up the people who search for that exact keyword, and they figure out mathematically who's likely to convert into a lead, and furthermore, a client or sale to go along with it, and who's not. The people that convert into a lead, they'll find out that they're more likely to be, like, let's say, male, over 45 years old, and so forth. And guess who gets all those people that they know is most likely to convert? The competition that's there, that's been there for a while, they know ain't going anywhere, so that the campaigns that they have that are set up with smart bidding can deliver the cost per conversion that they want from their campaigns. So ultimately, and like I said, you're getting the leftovers, essentially, the stuff that they know won't convert. And by the way, they pretty much know who's going to convert on your keywords, what traits they have versus other traits, because they can monitor what that person does way prior to making the search for the keyword that you're bidding on. They can see what sites they've been on. They can see what that person said, with the Google app installed on their phone that they've been carrying on them for the last 3 months. They've been talking about buying your service before or product. And so by the time they actually do make the keyword search that you're targeting, they know, practically speaking with 90% certainty, is that person actually looking to do business, or are they tire kickers, or are they just looking for information, or are they just thinking about it? And again, you're getting the shitty version of the traffic that the competition, that they know their competition they can't deliver a lead to, and what's left over you're getting until you prove Google that you should be the one worthy of the good quality traffic. And you can't force it. Again, because they think that you're going to be like everybody else that comes in, expects an instant return, says Google Ads doesn't work, and then leave right away. They're not going to, screw up their relationship with their existing advertisers that have been there for years for you. Furthermore, they ultimately, on top of that, most people that are in and out, they have an ad that doesn't perform as good as the competition, or a landing page that doesn't perform as good as the competition. So the last thing they ultimately want to do is push new guys in and displacing the people that are there that have been there at the top of Google for all the good quality people that are serious, because that provides an overall worse experience for Google's users, for the people that are serious overall. They do want to actually constantly be on the lookout for somebody that can beat the crap out of the existing people that are there at the top of Google already. They're not going to take a big risk by just taking that guy out, putting you immediately there and hoping for the best. No. They're going to slowly test you out. You might get 1% of the quality traffic that you want, that your competition shows up for right now, until you prove you have at least a 3% click-through rate and at least, like, let's say, an 8% conversion rate from click to a lead and what have you. And then it'll go to 2%, then 3%, and then they'll slowly start ramping you up. This process takes months. The more competition there is, the longer it's going to take. If there's no competition, by the way, well, in that case, it's probably, there's a good chance anyway that it's not profitable to run ads in your market. So there's something, but that shouldn't dissuade you from trying to make ads work in your market. But if ads are profitable in your market and there isn't any competition, yes, it will take way less time for it to work, but there's still that element that Google, in that case, yes, if there's competition, they know the people who buy and don't buy already. You just don't get access to them right away. In the case that nobody is advertising in your space right now and you're the first one, they still got to figure out the people that are serious buyers and who are not, and eventually make sure your ad only shows up for the type of people who type in your keywords that are serious buyers. And of course, they can figure out fairly quickly what will turn into a phone call or a form lead right away. What takes far longer is what's going to turn into a sale. And they'll pretty much know who's going to turn into a sale or not just by looking at what that person does after they've clicked on your landing page. And even if you don't tell them who bought or not, because they can tell what that person does after they hit your landing page. Do they keep searching around in your space or do they not? If they quit searching around, they pretty much know that they bought from you. That said, you should definitely feed the data back to Google saying whether that person was a good quality lead at the very least, and did they buy and how much they spent, so that the algorithm not only just is able to get you more calls for less money on an ongoing basis, but they get you the right type of calls. Because there's a huge difference from one call and another call, as you know. And if you're spending all this money in ads, knowing up front it's not going to work for a while, the least you could do for yourself is know that once you're already 6 or 12 months into it, you spent all that money, that you've built up 6 or 12 months worth of data that Google can use to get you the quality traffic and therefore the quality clients or customers that you want. So you've got to pay your way in either way, either by earning your place to get in front of the people that matter on Google, that type in your keywords, or for Google's algorithm to figure out who's a serious buyer and who's not. Even if you had the exact keywords that work, you're still going to have to pay for the algorithm to know how to get you a profitable return on your ad spend. Okay? So that is why it takes so long. And everything I told you applies to other non-B2B markets. It's just particularly egregious in the B2B space because there's so much variability from one person searching for an outsourced CFO and another person, which that keyword by itself, by the way, you can get that to work. If you give Google enough time to figure out when your ad should show up for that person who searches for outsourced CFO versus not, that keyword will work. But it takes them a long time to figure out the people who actually buy when they type that in versus not buy. But there's a lot of variability in people that are serious and non-serious in most B2B markets. If you're talking about broken toilet repair, just to give you a comparison here, there's not a lot of variability from one person to another that searches for broken toilet repair. They all pretty much are serious. Google doesn't have a lot to figure out. It just works right away. The lesser the decision, the less Google has to figure out who's serious from who's not serious. Now, of course, in a B2B context, a lot of these deals are 5, 6, 7-figure deals. So, of course, it's going to be super competitive because it's super profitable, and you're going to have to do even more to fight your way in for the profitable leads that are in your market. Versus the people selling a $20 broom, there's not as much money on the line. So the sophistication of what they've done on their end to figure out how to get in front of the right people is not there. So it's easier for you to collect enough data to get in front of the profitable people in your market yourself, or earn that spot, if you will, to keep it simple. So there's a lot at stake, so there's usually a lot of competition, and there's a lot of variability from one person who searches for a keyword in your market and another. And so Google's going to have to find out the people that do convert, if there isn't a lot of competition in your space, or if there is a lot of competition already, prove that your ads can do better click-through rate, conversion rate wise, for you to be able to even get access to the high quality people that you want to get in front of in your market, who's already searched for the keywords that you know should be effective. So at the end of the day, long story short, you're paying money either way to get your ads to work. The only question is, how long is it going to take? And more importantly, how much money are you going to have to spend upfront to where you've earned your place where the profitable traffic is for your keywords, or you built up enough data for the algorithm to understand who's an actual buyer and who's not. And the typical average is going to be 6 to 12 months before your ads are really profitable from when you start out. Most people are in and out of B2B markets if you pay attention to it and track it long enough. Like in your space, you'll see new guys coming in and out all the time because they try it and expect in a month, because they only got one lead for $3,000, that it doesn't work. The reality is, they would have just waited. They would have got 2 leads the second month, then 4 leads the third month, and then 6 leads the 4th month, and then 10 leads the 5th month, and it would have just kept building up, and eventually it would be profitable. If you go in with the mindset that it will eventually be profitable, because ultimately we're going to have enough leads for what we're spending to pay for the cost of the ad spend and our overhead, and what I earn year or 2 every month is going to pay for whatever I invested the first 6 months to get it working. You can justify the expense of having to invest in the data that you need to collect from your campaigns and with your account to make it make sense. If you're like the most people that are in and out, where things have to either pay for itself right away or not, then you're wasting your time. Don't even do it in the first place, because it doesn't work like that. Not in a B2B context, at least, because it's too competitive, and or there's too many variables involved in somebody who makes a related search in your space that actually buys versus not buys. So, and respectively, if you could turn your ads on and it would profitable in 1 week, why the hell would your competition have not already been doing this? It's not 2007 anymore. Everybody in your space has heard of Google ads. The people that make it work versus not work are just simply whoever has the most grit. Who is willing to wait the longest for it to work at the beginning, and of course knows they have to wait, because not everybody knows that. But who's willing to wait the longest for it to work? You wait for it to work. It's not a matter if it will work, but when. Are you willing to wait no matter what it takes? Are you willing to make it work as if your life depends on it, and if you didn't get it to work, you'll die? Because if you go into it with that mindset, I promise you it will work. It's, again, it's just a matter of when. Generally speaking, our typical B2B client we have at our agency, it's $3,000 a month that you're spending on ads, and it won't really get profitable until you're like 6 months in already. So that's a big chunk of money that people have to spend. Of course, there's leads coming in before that, like I explained before, but for it to truly break even after all your expenses and everything, it's like 6 months in already that it takes before it's profitable. But anything that's worth it in life is not going to be easy or cheap. And furthermore, once it is working, guess what? everybody else that tries to take your revenue source, profit source from you is not going to be able to take it away so easily. So I like the fact that it's not easy, because when it's working, I don't want everybody and their dog constantly taking my clients away from me or whatnot. This is your barrier to entry, the knowledge and the money and the time it takes to get through the initial ramp up learning period for the Google ads to learn. So it's similar to how even Facebook ads work, where ads don't work right away. The algorithm's got to figure out what a customer looks like versus not. Google operates virtually the same way, at least in like B2B markets, where everybody who thinks they hire somebody isn't who actually hires somebody. There's tons of people that are tire kickers. Even if they say they want to hire somebody, there's just a certain percentage who actually do and can afford, furthermore, someone that can, to hire somebody in that space, we'll say. So anyway, with that said, I'll pretty much wrap it up with that, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It made a lot of sense. If you liked the video, I would appreciate it if you would give it a like and consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with Google ads, as well as Facebook ads and so forth, coming straight from the source of an ad strategist who does nothing but ad strategy all day long and guarantees results, sales results for the clients that we have at our firm. So it's coming from somebody who is actually a practitioner, not a course seller or professional YouTuber. It's accurate information you can rely on. And if you're going to pay attention to anything, this is the information that you want to pay attention to if you really want results in your market. If you like my channel, by the way, I also have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog, as well as you can follow me on entrepreneur.com, as I have a column there where I go over the latest greatest stuff that's working on online advertising platforms as well. Beyond that, if you are looking for an ad manager now or some point in the future, you should reach out to me at my firm. I'd be happy to look over what you have and see if we can potentially work together in some regard. What we do is we provide in our proposals and for our clients up front a certain minimum amount of increase in sales results for their campaigns before we charge any fees, in that we take our fees essentially just out of what you're going to be able to earn in addition to what you're earning right now from working with us. And the only catch is that we have to like what you're selling, know we can get great results with it, which you should want anyway, obviously. And so if you want to see if we can work together, you just have to reach out to me, and it's guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to look over your stuff and see what kind of sales results can be generated with what you got and where you're at right now. I'd be happy to hear from you and give you a free analysis. If you are not looking for an ad manager, but you want to shortcut your way to success, the best way to do that, if we've worked in your market, and we've worked in over 100 markets at this stage, is to use the ad templates that we already know work for your market already. We sell ad templates that work for different markets that we've been in, as long as there's no conflict of interest there. And we can tell you the results we've got in your market if that's the case, and what you would be able to generate and achieve with the templates we've already developed and learned already work for your market in terms of the ad templates, campaign templates, landing page templates. And so instead of figuring all this stuff and furthermore spending the money to learn what works in your market, just use what already works. And if we've worked in your market for several years already, I promise you what we have is going to work extremely well in your market. So you should reach out to us and at least find out if we've worked in your market before, and we'll tell you what results we've got in your market in that case. These templates, by the way, are so good that we have people taking the templates and starting up lead generation businesses from them, selling the leads to other people and so forth, as well as starting side e-commerce businesses. And if it was something that they, if they wanted to get into e-commerce, that's the quickest, easiest way, honestly, to do it. So starting with the ad campaign that already works, since that's usually the hardest part to get to work, to start an online e-commerce business, whatever. So with that said, I'll wrap it up with that, though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, it was useful to you, and I hope to see you on the next one, where we'll have another great ad strategy for you to be able to make some more money as well. See you later.